What
Yeah, that's
is
just
up, gamers?
what's up, Sneeples?
The most consistent podcast back again this week, just like we are every week.
Yep.
It's tough to be
Haven't missed a
this.
beat.
It's tough to be this consistent, isn't it?
It sure is. I mean, a lot of technical things we got to make sure lines up.
Yep.
We got to schedule meetings with big heads of fabs. All this stuff, but we make it happen.
There's a lot of moving pieces. It's crazy we deliver every week without fail. And
Uh
this week
huh.
is no exception. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into it here. I want to talk about Skirmish. How was your Skirmish weekend?
Oh man, boy, I think it was all right. I think it was all right. And I might have just swept Vegas and won the two skirmishes we had here.
True,
But
true,
other than
true.
that, it was all right.
So we played at Night and Day on Friday at a skirmish. That was a sealed one.
We're being very nice, giving him a little shout out.
The the same locals that sold us the $100 armory decks Night and Day in Las Vegas had a skirmish, and we were there, and it was
Yep,
a sealed into draft skirmish, and bro, we were having a time of our life. We were
we were. Yeah,
memeing, not taking it serious, just having a blast, and then somehow we
yeah.
ended up in top two.
I know. We drafted right by each other, and yeah, it was super casual, super just like memeing, like you said. So we were showing what we were hate drafting against each other on, and just bullshit,
Yeah, you knew I
and
was
then
on
yeah.
Florian. I knew you were on Acilio, and you're like, I'm stealing this because I know you want it. And I was like, all right, payback. I'm stealing this because I know you want it. So I have no idea how we wound up in top two. But yeah, you wound up taking me out in that one. And
That
then
was
we played
a good one.
Sunday at TK's. Much better
Yeah,
experience. Um, well, better.
kinda.
I won't say a
Cause it was
better
fucking
experience overall, but they're
right.
not
I
selling us a
hate the
$100
early
armory
one.
decks.
Yeah, they're not screwing us out of money. I agree with that. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they get a more favorable shout out.
They do. They do. Absolutely.
But it was Blitz, and
Hmm.
I have some things to say about Blitz, but I'll let you start
You
us up.
do.
I'll let you start us on a positive note. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know what the hell I was gonna play. I never felt so underprepared for a blitz skirmish before. But winning that cold foil Terra on the sealed one, I was like, okay, I'll just force that. And so I went CYB Terra, and yeah, I was able to get the whole damn thing. I faced a Data Doll, and that's a great fucking matchup. And I faced an Aurora in the top four, and that was a pretty good matchup too. So got some Terra, some LL points. But you you have a notorious take on Blitz, so let's let the world know how you feel.
Wait, wait. What did you play in top two?
Yeah, so top two was me and Justin. Justin was on Aurora.
Oh, okay. I think you said top four. Maybe you just mistakenly
Well,
said top
top
four.
four, yeah, on the top four, I faced a Data Doll,
Okay.
and then in finals, I faced Aurora. Yeah.
I didn't actually get a chance to see that at all. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it actually was. Like, honestly, if I didn't have a Sigil Solace in my arsenal at the time, he was going to kill me because he was fast enough to get it before I even saw all six CYBs. So I got there, but I got there running CYB and being super blocky. I think if I wasn't that way, I think Datadol probably could have took that tournament, to be honest. So I think
And
she's real.
you were not making friends on that CYB deck, huh?
I mean, whatever, man.
The Twitter sentiment translates to real life, bro. People hate that card.
I think only Sean was the only one that was just like, man. And I feel for him because I don't face him that much, and every time I have faced him, it was with a CYB deck, whether it be Enigma or like a CYB award just fucking around. He is not seeming without a CYB deck, so I feel for him. I think he has every right to criticize, and I think he was the only one.
Okay, yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, I don't, dude. Blitz is just painful. Like honestly, it's before my stance was okay. I will only play Blitz if I feel like I'm forced to, like if it's a skirmish or maybe I
Right.
scrubbed out of a calling and then the Sunday event is a battle hardened Blitz. But I think I'm moving on to I'm just refusing to play
Never.
Blitz. Never ever again. The format is just so bad. So like round one, I lose the dice roll. My opponent wins and says I'll go first, and then he goes Blood Rush, Bellow, like claw, swing big, something like that. So I block with my whole hand, still take damage and lose armor, and then I present like 16 back, which is really good. And he's like, okay, no blocks, my turn. Blood Rush, Bellow, and present 30. It was like crazy because he like popped Sash and he was like, I think it was like pulping, claw, and then the centipede that cost 0. So it
Right.
was like, okay, well I just like had zero agency in this game. I could not have played any differently or any better. So it just took me back to like Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. It's like, man, I forgot what like a high variance game feels like. I'm so spoiled by constructed flesh and blood,
Sure. Sure.
and it got me thinking about like this is supposed to be like the introductory experience, but it's not really like selling the good parts of Fab, right? Isn't the good parts of Fab like high consistency, low variance, skill, expression, stuff like that is rewarded? And you
Yeah.
just don't really get that in Blitz.
I think Blitz is more on the side of bringing in new players because of how short it is. It's just I guess a little bit more traditional in the amount of life to go through. And there's more heroes. Well, actually, it might be very similar now, but there is a ton of heroes to go through, and so the idea is like, I mean, I honestly don't. I honestly think they're shifting away from that LSS on bringing in new players to Blitz because they got these towards. But here, I got a counter argument for you.
Okay.
Um, Last meta, and maybe you could even say this meta, you know, Zen was huge, and Zen was very high variance. Zen was very, very swingy, um, to the point where it's like, yeah, you just lose, and there was nothing you could do. And then Zen would have these awesome turn zeros, and you're like, all right, and it's like, and of course they banned some things, right? They banned bonds and shit like that. But like, I think it happens in CC too. I wonder if your play experience would be better if like Blood Rush Bellow was banned.
Blood Rush Bellow did feel like it needed to go with the books, and I don't know why it didn't. Like, I don't know if they were just afraid of like making the brute class too weak, having banned Blood Rush Bellow if they did. But I
Hmm.
mean, it's it's more broken than a lot of the other cards that did get hit. So, and it also says draw two,
I
so I
mean,
don't really get it.
yeah, it's more broken than Tome of Fiendel in my eyes.
I think so too. Like on average, yeah, because any brute could like make very good use of Blood Rush, but like Tome, you have to
Absolutely.
find a way to cheat out action points and whatnot. But brute, you
Yeah,
could just
yeah,
stumble into it and it works.
definitely. Yeah, I kind of wonder because like I like Blitz, and the reason why I like Blitz is because I get to play with heroes that aren't even in the CC format, and then it feels like a different format. It doesn't feel like just a smaller version of CC. It feels like totally different. I like the refreshing nature of that. I don't want to play Blitz as my main format. I think CC is the better format. I absolutely agree with that, and I think that's why in Worlds and Pro Tour it's CC. It's not Blitz. Only one time did they ever make it Blitz. But a Blitz every now and then seems fine. A Blitz for skirmishes seems fine. I get the sentiment though you're coming from. I just wonder if Blood Rush Bella was banned, how like your day surely would have been better.
Okay, I do think that there was like other outside factors that made it weird too. So like it was a 4 round event with 16 people, and if you break that down, one person who goes 3-1 isn't going to make the LSS recommended top 4 cut. So
Hmm. You
because
know they
that
did that on
happened,
purpose too, right?
yeah. So because that happened to me round one, that solidified that I couldn't and wouldn't top. Still played the other three
Yeah.
rounds. Still won all three. But that is no fault of Blitz. That what I just said could have also
Right.
happened in any other format. But maybe that just like really made it sting way worse than it
No,
should have.
definitely. Yeah, like if you're saying that if you lose one time, you have a chance to not even like top four, because there is no top eight. Yeah, high variance sucks. Like you don't want high variance, and for something where you can't even lose once.
Right. Yeah. But even if it happened to me round two or round three, I would have been fine. So
Sure, yeah, exactly. It's
yeah.
just unfortunate, honestly.
And I don't know. That's like why I didn't like Lorcana and why I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh was
Mm,
just like that, just that high variance. It just isn't a play experience I like, and it's always my selling point on Fab too. Whenever I'm trying to talk people into trying the game,
same.
my big thing is like how low variance it is and how you get to like, you know, perfectly articulate your stuff. You get deterministic outcomes and everything. Is like part of how I sell people on Fab. So I imagine a world in which I'm trying to sell someone on that, and they're like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." And then they come to locals and get blood rush like that, and it's just like Max was totally wrong about this game, you know? Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I do think the one thing to defend Blood Rush on is that it does encapsulate brute, as in like you're kind of gambling when you're playing brute. You never know what it's a random discard, random. And you never know what you're going to draw either. So it's like it's almost like it captures brute so much that you almost want it to be a thing just because that's what brute is, and like in the creator's eyes, I guess.
um, I see what you're saying. This is like kind of what we felt like about High Octane. Like it was like part of the
Yeah.
hero's identity, and that's why I didn't really want it to go. And in CC, I really don't think it's like as big of a problem. That's another thing. It doesn't even feel like they care about Blitz in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Like,
it's legal in Blitz.
yeah, High Octane's still there in Blitz, which is like, okay, maybe it's like less of a problem in Blitz or something. But then that would imply that they're like, I don't know, it should be banned in Blitz. I'm not gonna get too too in the weeds here. I was about to like
Yeah.
get too deep, but it just creates for some very, very negative play experiences. But I mean, it's not even just like a Blood Rush Bellow problem. I mean, you know, back when Briar was legal, you could totally get rolled by CMH and whatnot in Blitz, like with having no interaction points. Same with Zen, like you said. I feel like there's
Right.
always some kind of aggro deck that's just like you literally can't play the game and you're dead because it's Blitz.
Yeah, I mean, Blitz is definitely more aggro oriented just because there's less life uh to deal, or less damage to deal to destroy your opponent. So it's always gonna be that way. I always feel like it is just gonna be aggro or hella defensive or combo. There's like no mid range like area in Blitz, which that part does suck.
Yeah, yeah. It is what it is. I this was my opinion before that skirmish too, so this kind of
It's
like
true.
just solidified it. But I don't want to say that and take anything away from your dub. Congrats on the dub. It's
I
pretty cool to
appreciate it.
get it on Terra too.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. It was
I think
definitely
he's a
very
fun
cool.
one. He's a fun one.
He honestly, you made a good point about him where if he was an adult, he'd actually be pretty good. And I really believe that. I think he would be.
He seems like he would be. Yeah, he seems
Yeah,
probably like he'd be better than Jarl, but hard to tell. Yeah, I don't
yeah, hard to tell on that one.
know.
All right, I'm curious real quick. So where do you put Blitz? Like, so CC is your number one format. Where's Blitz?
It's the worst format in the game. Yeah, I would play
Yeah.
Commoner before I played it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would honestly play Commoner too. Like, I'd be happier Commoner. Okay, all right. So it's like you like limited, you like CC, you like LL, Commoner, everything
Yeah.
above it.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
all
Yep.
right.
Yep.
I was just curious.
And I think that that's like not just a me thing too, right? Because before they would always say like skirmish must be blitz. Now they're saying you could
Right.
choose between these multiple formats and blitz is one of them. Um,
Yeah, I think that's because. they're actually have I that's because like skirmish is supposed to be like the more casual competitive thing.
Yeah, right. Which I
Yeah,
get that, but it's just them giving you the choice kind of implies that
sure.
they know that Blitz isn't everyone's favorite, and that's why they're not forcing you to play it.
Have you ever played Clash? I never played Clash yet, but I know some people
I
really
haven't
like it.
I haven't played it, but it seems like it'd be fun. Seems cool.
Yeah,
I've just never had
I
a
wonder.
reason.
Yeah, same. I mean, like, and no one around us plays it, so I wonder if LSS ever actually looked into that. I kind of doubt it because I would imagine that they're a little bit prideful and they're like, "Yeah, we're not gonna.
Right.
We made Blitz, you know."
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Because I kind of agree. Like thinking on all the formats, I think Blitz is my least favorite. I don't like. I'll go to Blitz event. I actually like playing Blitz, but I do like playing all the other formats more. So I wonder as like and Blitz isn't the marquee format that it once was for Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, it
So
used
I
to
wonder.
be really a
Yeah.
big deal.
I mean, it used to be their most popular format, especially when the game was like on like you know becoming. Um, yeah, I wonder if at some point maybe it either gets phased out or changed completely,
They did
or maybe it
say,
stays the same. I don't know.
who was it? I think it was James White who said, like in a recent presentation, that there was going to be some huge Blitz shakeups coming very soon, and to stay tuned. But I wonder if that
Okay.
was just like, something
Oh,
that
like the
actually
point
wasn't
system.
that, right? Yeah, maybe he was just like said that, and it was just, oh, well, Zen isn't banned anymore, or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. Like the huge shakeup is like now you have to get 1,000 points, and yeah.
Yeah, right. But it would be cool to see them kind of rework it in a more fun way. Like if it really was a new player format, yeah, maybe make it less expensive and maybe showcase some of the things that make the game great. Because if
Right.
it
Like
is
wouldn't
this,
Commoner just be a better new player format though?
or they could just rework Blitz. Like, couldn't you just rework Blitz to say like no legendary equipment and no Majestics in the deck, and then it's like way less swingy, way more new player friendly as far as price is concerned, and
I mean,
showcases.
we're basically describing Commoner.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, basically,
Like you get in your version it has rares, so I mean that's the one difference.
and
But
Majestic equipment, but yeah.
oh yeah, I guess yeah, majestic equipment too. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Or
yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I don't think they'll ever. They done a calling long time ago. I kind of doubt they'll ever do a calling with Blitz ever again. They do have battle hardens here and there,
the battle
but
hardens are even getting more rare because I remember every event used to have a blitz battle harden on the Sunday,
right.
and that
I'm
just
curious. Yeah, I wonder if they choose that. You know, like who decides that, LSS or the venue?
whoever it is, it doesn't really matter which one it is. It's still a
That's
sign
true.
overall that
Yeah, no,
someone's thinking it's
absolutely.
less popular. If LSS is saying stop playing blitz, then that's a not a good sign for the format. And if the venues are all choosing not to play blitz, that's also not a good
Right.
sign.
I mean, that's totally freaking fair. Yeah, it seems like LL is starting to get. I mean, we're doing this recording like on the eve of a well, not eve, but it's close up is a calling LL as well as a Battleharn LL format, and that seems to be kind of where it's going. Is like LL form or Battleharns tend to be LLs after callings if it's not another CC format.
It does seem like that, doesn't it? And you know what's weird
Yeah.
too is like it's almost like we're having like a big like shuffling of the formats. Like Blitz is no longer the new player format, and like either
Yeah.
draft or CC is, and like the
Yeah.
seasoned
Yeah.
players actually like LL.
Yeah, it was a blast. That
Yeah, right.
if I played more, I could see that being other than limited. Limited is always probably going to be my favorite format, but I could see that being my second favorite format, honestly, even above CC.
It is the biggest threat to the CC format for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. That one's done well. I mean, that one is it's swingy like Blitz, but when everyone's swingy, it's then no one's swingy. I guess you know what I mean. And
yeah.
it kind of feels that way, which
It
is
doesn't feel as swingy.
okay, like I guess in theory it's swingy, right? Like if you brought any of these LL decks to a CC, like it would just dominate. You know what I mean?
Probably, depending
Like
on
a
the one. I don't
well,
know.
okay, so like Starvo would be probably
Dominant, yeah.
yeah, dominate.
Starvo and
Uh,
Viscerai would be like breaking the
yeah,
game.
Viscerai. I gotta imagine Chains there. I gotta even imagine old Prisms there. Honestly,
Nah, old Prism, nah.
old Prism might be struggling with how big Zen is right now. I could
Yeah,
say that. Yeah, that's probably right. But there's probably been some formats like the heavy hitters format
Prism would have, she
dominate,
would have ate very
dominate.
well in that format. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then like Zen and LL would
yeah, that'd be
be like
crazy.
the last meta, just dominate again.
Do
So
you
it's like,
think?
the-
Do you think
yeah,
Lexi could hang?
in like this form, in like
Yeah,
CC now, or
yeah.
she, I think so. Like she has felt more, like she has felt stronger than like Zen now. I would say, like when she was in her prime. She was really rolling. I would say, yeah, I bet she could. Arctic incarceration in this format,
That would be
which
good. Well,
I guess y'all
would
gets,
it?
but
No,
like she would use it.
would it be though? When the top three heroes are Mystic heroes?
I mean, yeah, but like the remember it wasn't so much about playing it, it was about showing it. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
And so it's like if they just chose not to block, pow, I don't know. Lexi was pretty cool in that I think she was more versatile and aggressive. So it was like a 1-2 punch that she had.
yeah, yeah. I do kind of, in a weird way, miss her. I do think she was like a little bit broken, but I weirdly miss her. That sounds so crazy to say, because I felt like when she was here, I hated her so much. And you
Right.
don't know what you got till it's gone.
I mean, I wonder if it was do you miss her or do you miss her because like the format at the time was like her, Icelander, and Dromai.
Yeah,
You know what I
maybe.
mean?
Yeah,
And that was, you know what, that's cool. I like that too. Like, yeah.
totally possible. We got some new cards too. It's kind
We
of cool.
did. We
Yeah.
actually, yeah, there's a lot to talk about these dude cards. All
Uh,
right, let's go over them. Let's go over what the cost, what they say.
all right, we're not doing all that. I'm sure if you're this deep in our pod, you already know what's going on. But I think the coolest one was the Verdance one. I think that card is fucking sick.
Like the art or just like
It's
like
effect.
what's
Yeah,
cool?
it's effect.
Oh, it's the effect. Yeah, its effect is pretty cool. It's okay. Tell me this: how come Frost Hex wasn't legendary, but this is?
I think Frost Hex is why it's legendary. I think that they don't like what
It
Frost
might be
Hex
right.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish this wasn't like if this wasn't legendary, like the rose card. Yeah, I feel like it would have actually made Vernus like go up a tier.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think it is a very powerful card. It's not
Hmm.
enough for her to
Yeah, it's
like,
just not enough.
and it really doesn't feel like it helps her in her bad matchups.
Yeah, it
Um,
just helps her overall, but yeah,
yeah, it's just like whereas Frost Hex played like a very specific role, right? Like if you're playing against
yeah,
like a slower fatiguey deck, like Frost Hex is good. But
right.
this one doesn't seem the same. I could be missing something there. But yeah,
No,
since
I think you're right. I think it's just like it doesn't man, the fact that Verdant's life gain doesn't matter or like the only time she can deal arcane damage if it's on your turn. Like just kind of
yeah,
like
that's annoying, isn't it?
it's so annoying because this card allows you to gain life on your opponent's turn. But you know what this card really told me is that the LSS is fine not letting wizards play on their opponent's turn anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, her and Acilio, right?
Yeah, and it's just like fuck, man. That's why wizards are good.
That's why they were cool, at least. Yeah, that was like kind of.
Yeah, like it's supposed to be Runeblade's things to do like the split damage. Now it's like wizards things as well. It's not about playing on your opponent's turn.
True. Yeah, they're just bad rune blades because they don't have good armor.
Yeah, I
That's
absolutely agree
really
with
they're
that.
bad rune blades with I guess better reach because they have arcane
Yeah, they
spell
got one cool
capabilities.
turn.
Yeah, right. Which Yeah, I think both the new wizards were kind of disappointing. That card is really cool, and I think it overall makes her better, but it doesn't
Yeah.
help her bad matchups. Like, how does this help you against like Enigma, which she really struggles into right now?
I think she struggles into a lot. Like even like aggro matchups she struggles into.
Yeah, this card ain't helping you against aggro matchups that much. Against like new, it's not really helping you because you have to like keep two cards to be able to make this card make sense. Because you have to
Yeah.
like cast a big enough arcane spell that they're just not gonna AB3 it.
What if
Uh,
they eroded her? What if they eroded her to say anytime? Like once she's online, anytime you gain life, you deal one arcane damage.
I think it just should have been like that. Uh,
Does that like make her relevant?
I still don't think it's enough. I really
I
don't.
think I think you're right, honestly. Like I think it would do much like it would do more than this card did,
Hmm.
obviously because that's a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
But like I do think you're right. I think it still falls short. It's closer, but it falls short.
Yeah. I'm curious to see where all of this lands when the MST heroes are gone, though.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, any if we ever go, which we're not, by the way, it's going to be a long time since we go back to a heavy hitters type format where like the most aggro deck is like a mid-range deck nowadays. Uh, but she would do good in that sort of meta. But we're about to get more ninjas. We're about to get a warrior that is probably more akin to Bolton than to like Dorinthia or Kasai. And so we are going to get some very go wide heroes coming out, which we've already talked about this. Anytime LSS brings in new heroes, at least, you know, the majority of them gets a nice push to be immediately put into the meta.
Yeah, that's definitely the way they've been going lately. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But like, if in the current meta, if
Hmm.
you know, we could imagine a world 6 months from now where like Viscera and the MST heroes are gone. I think Earth could realistically be the best decks.
I think, yes, which makes Jarl the best deck.
If Earth is the best, you think Jarl's the best?
I think it's kind of like whenever CYB was in full legality. There was a lot of decks that actually, got a bump up because of that card. But then again, they really didn't because the only deck that was like really good with CIB was Enigma, and then later to be discovered new. But yeah, so I think if you have all of Earth bump up, I think Jarl, because of his card pool, gets the best value out of that, and so then kind of like puts down the other Earth heroes, like gatekeeps them almost. That's what my theory on that.
It is also interesting to think that the MST heroes are a big part of why Jarl's being so held down right now.
It is. It is. I mean, he does. I mean, like, so Enigma's an auto loss, absolutely. And it knew is a very hard matchup.
Yeah.
I haven't had enough records or reps into Zen, but I can actually see how that can be a tough one too. But yeah, like Aurora is fine. I think
Yeah,
you can do
Aurora's
Aurora.
great. Yeah, great matchup.
Yeah, Ira, Florian, like Azalea, just name any other hero. I think he's fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's really part the Misfell heroes.
And that's just such a big part of the meta. That's why Jarl is just considered so bad. It's because the meta is MST and he really
Right.
can't mess with those heroes. So once they're gone, I think we're in for an Earth meta. So maybe it is good. Maybe that Verdant's card is exactly what she needed. It would help against like a Guardian or something if you're playing big arcane spells.
Sure.
Maybe if you block with two
There's
cards, throw a Swell Tiding, ping and ping. Yeah, it seems good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, swell tidings. That's right. Yeah, I um I do wonder if oh man, there's supposed to be a Guardian card that is supposed to give Guardians some play into Enigma that gets spoiled here.
I seen them talk about that, and you know what that made
Right.
me like think about and realize too. And this kind of goes into what you were saying about the Wizards and them taking away the ability to play on your opponent's turn. It kind of seems like they're really trying to give every class the tools to do everything. It
Yeah.
seems like they're
Yeah.
just trying to blend everything and kind of make everything an all-arounder. And I think they're doing that so nothing is ever unplayable.
Yeah, like everyone has some sort of out. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think with the direction that Fab is going, like we have more heroes than we've ever had. And in order to keep old heroes relevant, yeah, I think that's exactly what you have to do. Otherwise, you just have, like we were talked about before, you'll just have dead heroes, like heroes that will never get to LL
Well, yeah.
because just better and better.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, if you don't have the tools to clear an Enigma board, you're irrelevant. So there
Yeah,
goes like
yeah.
Warriors and Guardians, right?
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Even
s-
assassins. Like new is like your best shot, but I, I don't know. You hear new players say that it's good and whatnot. I don't know, but and I think Enigma can get that one.
it seems very good for Enigma, but I won't discredit it because I've heard so many people tell me it's not as bad as you would think it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Neither of us are like, master new players or anything.
No.
So
No.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. If she's an
Right.
MST hero, I'm sure she could figure it out.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. MST. She must be good. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it was like Uzuri or Arachne, yeah, they're
Oh,
not they're
right.
not breaking
Yeah.
an Enigma
No.
board, I don't think.
No. They
So
couldn't even do it versus Dromai.
that was rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
not even remote. Well, Dromai was harder though.
Sure. But same deal. I mean, just
Yeah,
illusionist good, you
yeah.
know.
So yeah, if you're like a warrior main looking at this meta, it's like, oh, I just my whole class is irrelevant till Enigma LLs, or just she's like such like a, or she's like less of a relevant meta share, so I'm okay playing warrior because I could dodge her. But yeah,
I do
they
think Bolton has a fair shot, and I think Fang will be kind of like Bolton.
sure. Yeah, I guess what I'm just getting at is they're trying to make the heroes all have tools to be competitive all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that Guardian card will probably play into that, and I'm sure we'll get more in the mastery
Honestly,
pack.
it's gonna be such a benign expansion card. Like it's just gonna feel flavorless if the only thing it says is like this damage can't be prevented. Just because like all the ones we've gotten are cool. And if that's like the only thing that it says, which I'm really hopeful it'll say something else, but I'm not expecting it. But if it just says this damage can't be prevented, then it's like, all right,
Yeah, what do you or I bet you it says something like you could attack with your weapon twice this turn or something.
maybe. I'm
I don't
curious.
think it
Yeah.
would be that boring as this can't be
Okay,
prevented.
well they've done it before. Like they've done it in like bright lights. They printed that brute card that says his attack power couldn't be changed, and it was like,
Numbskull, yeah.
yeah, Numbskull was like, well, that was the most boring fucking expansion card.
That was that an expansion card?
Yeah, because it was in bright lights.
Was it?
I'm almost certain. I'll double check that right now.
Why do I feel like it was in
Heavy hitters.
no, I feel like it was in like Dynasty or something. I gotta be wrong on that though.
Uh oh, how about it was in Dust Till Dawn? All right,
Dust Till Dawn, that's what it
I
is.
was
Yeah, yeah,
off.
there you
I
go.
was off. But still, I mean, okay, so it wasn't an expansion slot, but that it kind of was at the same time, right?
We've had boring expansion slot cards before, yeah, like how
Yeah,
about all the Evo equipment. I won't
sure,
even
yeah.
narrow it down to all of it.
Oh yeah, like just like the ones that are just like
All of them,
uh
yeah.
just arcane barrier now. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah,
Or the base
yeah.
arcade barrier, all of it, yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I so far it's been cool stuff. Like
It has been.
the
Devon set
Shadow
card?
Runeblade card today, the Cole or whatever it's called. I think it was called Cole, which is that's a pretty cool name. That's a fucking insane card.
Dude, it's insane. And the art on that is sick.
I need to relook at the art, but yeah, like the that card is just like I don't know. Would you fuck with Vincent now?
Honestly, that card makes me want to.
I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. Yeah,
Sigil of Suffering, play that as an instant.
I thought about that too. I was like, that's gotta be fun. That's gotta be a lot of fun.
It's gotta be, yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah,
probably never how you'll use it, but
right. I was kind of like brewing up a little bit on it, and it got me to thinking that there is like some Vincent play styles that you just kind of like harbor for a big turn. So you harbor like uh rune gate cards in your banish zone, and then you just have this big ass turn, and like eliminates their hand.
Hmm.
And then that sets you up to keep doing that, keep the tempo. This definitely helps speed that up, where you don't need a harbor so much. You can just play that along with. But then like the way to play it is with spellbound creepers, and then why not play it revel after that and just keep going? Like it just seems so good.
So good. I mean, I think they're just gonna really enjoy starting with what's the condition to activate Vincent's effect? It needs to be like a shadow card
Just
or a runeblade card.
uh, to you need to have played a shadow card. Yeah, a shadow card to
Sure. So
have the option to take one life to make your first rune chant unpreventable.
I think they're just gonna lean into that. Attack with a card. The rune chant is unpreventable, so you take it before blocks. Play that as an instant. Discard a card and make your on hits just a little bit more guaranteed that way.
Which is pretty sick.
That's insane. Yeah. I wonder,
Yeah.
is there a way to like banish it from your graveyard?
I don't think so. A lot of people I've been hearing people ask this. I don't think there's like something that can consistently do that.
I don't know either. Yeah, but
Yeah.
either
But it
way,
is a fun idea. I mean, that's how
sick
good the
card.
card is, right?
Yeah.
Like that you would
Right.
want to.
Yeah, sick
Yeah.
card. Super sick. You see the art?
Yeah, it is really
It
cool.
looks like it'd
It
be
is
like
really
a
cool.
Van Helsing or yeah, like an old 80s rock band t-shirt or something,
Or yeah, no, it does have
Like a
that vibe
Ozzy
to it.
Osbourne t-shirt or something. I don't know.
Right? Iron Maiden sort
There
of
you
deal,
go.
yeah.
Iron Maiden. That's the perfect one. Uh,
Yep, yep.
and then
No, it looks cool.
what was the other one we got?
We got the ninja one, which I actually think is pretty cool. I think it gets a little bit outshined now from like Cole. I think probably a lot of things get outshined now from this Vincent card, but
Mm.
I think that one's pretty cool. Just opens up a lot of different combo lines.
Yeah, it's just kind of like it just kind of
You
feels
like
to me
more.
like, oh yeah, you needed this to play the game.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
It's like
Um,
just
but you know what
necessary.
that you know what it says? I don't think that they're going to unban bonds.
Yeah, they changed the rules.
Yeah, well, I know that, but it's like, there could have been the thought that once
Oh.
Zen rotates, okay, we can let Katsu have bonds again.
Hmm.
But now because of this card, I kind of think bonds is perma-banned from CC.
I think you're probably right. And that would have been an interesting thought too, because if you can't search combo cards from your deck in the way that Katsu and Zen could, is Bonds even good?
I think as long as you have massive amounts, the pouncing links, it is.
Then why did Fine never play it?
I wonder if I would now.
I mean, Fi has nothing else going for him at this point.
Right.
It wouldn't be any worse than what he's got going on. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I wonder if it was Bonds specifically that was a problem, or the ability to search it all at will.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, the search ability is just so fucking good.
It
Like
is,
the
yeah.
fact that you can search and mask is so good.
It
So
is, yeah. And
double bonds. Oh my
I don't
god.
like the card at all, so I am actually kind of glad to see it gone. And it is
I am too. Yeah.
it's crazy that they could have like designed any card to fit this like Zen combo line, and the way they designed it still needed them to change all the rules to make it work. Like how you could
Well,
call a banned card name now.
right. Well, yeah, because they really, really shot themselves in the foot with like a dishonor saying, like, not saying a card with bonds in the name, but actually saying bonds of ancestry.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, well, how do we get past that one?
Yeah,
I guess this is the way.
I guess there
But it's
was no other
cool.
way.
I think it's really cool because like it like makes it where it's like, well, if you didn't have a dishonor in your like arsenal or hand, and but you had Lord of Wind, boom, that could be a
Yeah.
Mugenshi release, or it could be something like that goes into Flusterfist. It's just like opens up stuff. I still think you can have very janky hands with Katsu, but this helps out a little bit.
I think it should make it feel smoother in general,
Hmm.
which is always nice. Make it feel more consistent and whatnot. We talked about consistency earlier, so
Yeah,
a
yeah.
big fan, of course. And that quiver that came out,
Oh,
uh,
right. Yeah.
that just kind of proves how far ahead they're developing. I think that they thought that Wizard was going to be a real problem right now.
I mean, if they kept floodgates, I could see that being, or not floodgates, sorry. If they kept tomes, I could see that being an actual case.
Yeah, I wonder if this card was developed before the tome ban.
I mean, that makes sense to me because honestly, if tomes were never banned, I think Acilio and definitely Kano would just be rampant.
Yeah,
I would be playing Kano to be 100% honest. It's like I would definitely be doing that.
I'd be a silly boy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it would be good. It would actually
Yeah.
be very good. And so it would make sense to give Rangers something to have counter. Because honestly, Rangers already good into Wizard. It were in particular Kano. I'm not sure how Rangers does in Cecilio. I'm sure it's fine for her as far as Azalea goes.
Probably even
Uh,
better than against Kano, I imagine.
yeah, I'd imagine too, honestly. Um, but yeah, because like some of her arrows actually do
Right.
something. Like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
Riddle and Remorseless and whatnot.
Sure, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, like Azalea's already been fine. I was trying to think of like who's his help because like Azalea would already do Spell Void 2 with like AB2 and just be fine even though she only ran a few blues. I was thinking of like Riptide. Maybe this is because like Riptide's quiver has only ever been just like the Remembrance quiver.
I mean, it totally helps Azalea for sure.
It totally helps Azalea. But then like if you look at Riptide, like Riptide has the opposite effect. Where Riptide like is a has a terrible matchup into like Kano. And I imagine maybe not as bad into Acilio, but still probably pretty bad, honestly.
Uh, it just so depends how he's built.
I mean that's and there's so many ways to build him too,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like if he's playing like just like the zero cost arrows and codexes and pumps and things like that, I actually think
Mhm.
he's kind of or even like the one
Like
cost arrows as
aggro
well,
Riptide.
and then just like a handful of traps. I actually think he'd probably be good into it.
Sure. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, that is a different build than when I played him. So yeah, I could see it. Aggro Riptide's always been kind of interesting, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it always struggled. Like, it was just a very polarizing deck. It had really good matchups and really awful, unwinnable
Yeah.
matchups. But I don't
Truly.
think Acilio would have been one of those awful, unwinnable ones.
Yeah. So I guess it helps him out into Acilio.
Sure, yeah, definitely. But
I
I
don't
mean,
think it helps him out into Kano that much, to be honest.
just because the other quivers were blanks, it helps them all against all the wizards to some extent.
Technically.
to
Technically.
to some extent, is it enough to flip the matchup? I don't know. Probably not. But it's nice to have it. It is a good tool. It's nice to have it, and I think it's a very
Yeah.
future-proof item.
Yes, yes. It like goes back to what you were saying, like, having it to where every hero has a shot into every other hero. And yeah, exactly. That's what it does. It allows Ranger, no matter what Ranger you are, to have a toolbox for quivers, which I think is actually really cool. I actually like the different quivers doing all the different stuff. And this one being anti wizard is actually really cool.
Yeah, I think it's sick. Yeah. Overall, I'm very excited for the hunted. All the cards are sick so far.
Yeah, yeah. And we get to know what the chaos means this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
This weekend.
About time. We'll be back next week, like we
Oh
are
yeah.
every week, to talk about it then.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have some stuff to say. We'll either be excited or disappointed, one way or the other.
Oh, did you see in the like the pre-release kits, like the token pack has 6 chaos weapons, I think it was described as in the token pack.
Is that what people I have not seen that, but I saw people were talking about that. Okay. So there's 6 different weapons for Arachne. Is that what we're thinking?
I guess so. If they're chaos weapons, what else could they be?
I mean, I guess there's a potential fourth hero that we don't know about. But yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Or maybe all of the Arachne variants are weapons. That's what
Yeah,
someone
I
was
mean
saying. I
that.
don't know.
Yeah, I saw that too. I have no idea. It's so close to being revealed. I'm just gonna let it
Yeah,
be
same.
revealed.
I'm just the one thing I was thinking of chaos because I like people would ask me, I'm like, "Pah, I literally have no clue. But then I was like, what? Like, if I had to give it a guess, what do I want to guess it is before it comes out? And I'm gonna just guess that it's chaos means you could be any one talent. That'd be kind of
Interesting.
cool.
That's like shapeshifter, right?
Yeah, it'd be like a shapeshifter type of mechanic. You could be any one talent. That would make
Ooh,
for some super interesting deck building.
what if literally you could be anyone? Well, now this is straight like Shiana, but like I could kind of see with how much like what is it called when you get marked, how many marked cards are coming out? I
Hmm.
wonder if you can like change your hero's name. That's got to be it. That's why there's so many Arachnes.
Yeah, or maybe you could change your opponent's hero's name or something.
But if you could
Because
change your own name, then you can. No, 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 wait. I'm cooking with something here. If you could change your own name, then that means you can avoid being held under a contract or held from being marked. And like that's kind of what that clan does. Like they're not like an army by any means, they're assassins, right? And so like they want to keep changing their identity.
wait, hold on. I'm building off your cook. I'm cooking.
Okay.
What if the hero power, or what if all the Arachnes are demi heroes that say when you hit Icelander Stormbind, turn into this, and then your hero power says 2 mana, whatever your opponent's name is, ice or whatever you want it to be. So then you can name them whatever you want, and then hit them, and then flip into that hero.
Okay. Yeah. No, I see. I actually like that. Okay. This is perfect. We always get ourselves hyped with like what could happen. It's going to be something completely different. But yeah, that sounds like really fun. It sounds like if because that like kind of goes under like the completing your own contract, but then also the identity change as well.
Well, yeah,
That
because
sounds
there's a bunch of those cards that say like if your hero is whatever, then have some additional effect, right?
mm-hmm.
If your opponent's hero is whatever, have an additional effect. So he gets like additional synergies out of those cards because he could use his hero power to change their name.
Right.
I guess this
Yeah, I'm
doesn't
curious.
apply to like the slip through the cracks Arachne. I'm imagining like another Chaos Assassin that does this.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. But
It'll be interesting. Yeah.
that was kind of fun to think about. I actually liked that. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, you started that one with the name changing. We were cooking for a second there.
We might be onto something, or we're totally off base, which is kind of where it's been.
Last time, yeah, that kind of proved true. Last set prediction.
It's wild that we still don't have more Rangers, but surely the next one.
Surely the next set we get more Rangers.
Uh, we are definitely getting a new Volda. We know that as far as like past the hunted, but I think that's literally all we definitely
We're
know.
getting a Dromai.
You know what? I think Dromai is going to be like the Briar of this, like with being in the like
Sure. Yeah, I could see
Marvel
that.
expansion,
You know,
which is cool.
I wonder if they move that to the gem pack.
Yeah, let's talk about that gym pack because that's a new thing now.
Yeah, and you seen how they're gonna have one Marvel in them?
Yeah, like it's well, I guess it's supposed to be like an actual, well, not like an actual pack, but you know, like it's supposed to have odds of like getting something right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you don't even know. How do you feel about that? Like, because I think is that's just like the new participation thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they're getting rid of armory kits, and those are the armory kits.
Right. I
I love
mean,
it. It's great. I have no complaints. It's awesome.
I'm kind of bummed, man. Like, look at my wall. I mean, you can't see because of the green screen, but like my wall of like all these posters. Like, now what?
Oh, I'm sure they're still gonna. You don't think they're
You
gonna
think they'll
still
still do
get?
posters?
I'm sure they'll still receive promotional material and stuff because they're imagining LGSs are putting up those posters to advertise the game, right? So I don't think
That's
that's
fair.
gonna change.
Okay. All right. Cool. I still get my posters. All right. I'm curious on that. I mean, like, it's cool. Like, it like fills the addiction of pack opening. That's cool. but I'm a little hesitant on it, man. I'll be honest.
Why is that?
It's just because like other games do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I like that Flesh and Blood is like unique enough, but like yeah, when Flesh and Blood started doing Marvels,
Hmm.
Marvels are fucking cool. They look awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like all the other games do Marvels as well. So it's like we're not really like we still have the cold foil, but now we get the Marvels, right? But Marvel cold foils looks cool. I'm about it. Now it's like these packs, and it was like I remember like getting this when I played Magic, and it was like it's cool, but I just like don't want the game to kind of meld into like the average TCG, and it just loses its like unique identities. Like, because
Sure.
before it just felt like old TCG where it's like you just got the bare minimum, and it's like, hey, guess what? That's all I needed. That's all I really wanted. But
Sure. I think that it works, and that's why they're doing it. It's not different,
it
but
does,
there's a reason all the other TCGs do it, and it's
right?
because it works. Uh,
It definitely. I mean, I'm definitely being a boomer with this one right now,
yeah,
but yeah.
and they're trying to allocate enough to where you have one pack per person per armory. So this
Hmm.
is going to make it so like, okay, that's our entry prize. You guys got to come up with an actual prize for first place anymore. You got to give us credit or packs or something. You can't just give us the cold foil from that armory kit and take all our money and think you're getting away with it anymore. Because that's what a lot of stores would do.
Dude, I didn't even think of it like that. All right, now I'm all 100% for it.
Because that's what stores would do, right?
I'm flipped. You
They'll
got
say
me. I'm
like, "All
down.
right, you won. Here's your cold foil. Thanks for the money."
Yeah. Thanks for the $10.
Yeah,
Bum
right.
ass.
Yeah. So now they got to figure out a real prize to give us because all they're gonna have is entry promos or those packs.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, okay. Do you? All right. Yes, I was gonna say. Do you remember? But you were literally there. We were both playing at the same time with each other. But like, so when they got rid of the gyms or like the XP system, remember that?
Hmm.
And like that changed the local scene, and now we have a more casual local scene, right?
I don't know that those were directly related. Do you think they were? Do you think anyone
See,
stopped showing up because of XP?
so I saw it in Vegas, and then when I went back to Dallas, I saw that the Dallas scene had changed completely. And so I've seen two examples that looks like it has. I know it
Okay.
hasn't for us, but I think it has for some gamers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so what was your follow up to that?
Well, this just kind of feels like another shift to a more casual base, which I'm not
A
against,
100%
but
it is. Yeah.
it does it like yeah, so if we go to a store that just does like pack per win, like is that good enough anymore? If there's not like a first place win?
I have always thought that that wasn't good enough most of the time.
Yeah, I'm not huge on the pack per win system. I always like store credit the most, but like at least if it was pack per win, there was like first place pricing, so it was like okay, at least I'm like I do want this cold foil.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
They
like, but now
they hit it out of the parks with these cold foils, but every other one I didn't care. Like if I got
that's
three
fair.
packs and a cold foil Searing Ember Blade, I don't care.
Okay, okay. I
But
mean, you're right. There's been some weeks where it hasn't been good, or some months I should say.
yeah,
But there's been bigger months too, like Arachne Huntsman being a cold foil that you could win way back in the day. That was a good fucking one, you
for the
know?
first one.
Yeah, yeah.
What about
What are
the
you talking
other?
about?
I mean, if you go to 10, 20 armories
Oh,
that month, right?
no, yeah, no, I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah,
It gets real
yeah,
lame
yeah.
after the first, second, third.
I mean,
But
you're not
yeah,
wrong.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I do think it's you kind of turned me around with like, yeah, like the store can't just do nothing. I guess they could still just do pack per win, but then it's like, all right, so first place I get 3 packs while everyone else gets two or one or zero.
Right. Yeah, then
What is?
people won't want to show up, so then they got to readjust the
Uh,
pricing.
one
Uh
would hope.
yeah,
But
one would
see, here's
hope.
the thing: Fab's not. Magic. Fab's not Yu-Gi-Oh. Fab's not Pokemon. So it's like you don't need to cater to Fab players as a store because you got those other ones. And so I hope that stores would
Yeah.
respond, but maybe they won't. I don't know.
I
I don't know. I got a little gloomy there. Let me change my mood here.
Yeah, I think overall it's a good direction as far as that's
Yeah.
concerned. Like the stores will feel compelled to give more pricing now.
I hope
Uh,
so. Yeah. Yeah.
and it definitely is a shift more towards casuals because
Hmm.
everyone gets the same pack, right? You have just as much of a chance as pulling that Marvel as the guy who won, right? Even if you go 0-3. And honestly, uh, it is just objectively good for the game. Is like even though like me and you we win a lot of tournaments, so we would like to see the winner get uh the best card or whatever out of that armory kit. Uh, that's really
Something to
not
play for.
yeah that's really not how you build a community though. And I think if you made the tournaments like you win a box, okay, well then the competitive players still have a drive to win, and then the entries, all of the entry packs, any of those could have like just a banger cold foil, and maybe that one cold foil is enough to give the casual fab dad enough motivation to keep going to armories till he hits another one.
Right.
Like maybe that's enough to keep him going. So I think overall it's a good change.
You know, I think you're right. I think you're right. You know what? I also wonder if like, did they say like what type? I mean, I know the promos, but like as far as the cold foil or majestics, did they say it's going to be of the set?
I mean, they said like there's going to be a hunted season gem pack, right? So
Okay. So I don't know, like, cause what I'm wondering is like, what if that's how you get a Marvel Dromai? It's through that. That's like the Marvel.
right. That's how we started this conversation. I think that
Yeah.
it'll switch to that as well. I think
Yeah.
they're literally just gonna take like all the armory kits they would have gave this season, smash them together, and then throwing a Marvel on top for a chase. And I think
Sure.
the
Yeah.
Marvel on top will be the Dromai, but it could be in the
Probably.
set. We could totally be wrong. Hey, maybe they put Dromai in the set and Fi in the pack. Who knows?
What if? Okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that idea. What if they have it? Okay, because all right. So check this out. So if they have it where like you get like a random majestic or a random whatever, basically like a random majestic or a random Marvel but it was from the hunted set, then pack per win would feel kind of like ass because it's like, well, I'm already getting those cards from like the thing. I'm
No,
already
it
getting
it ain't gonna be that way. That would be so dumb. You're saying like just a regular majestic that already comes in the set?
yeah, I don't know. I'm curious.
There's no way. No, I imagine it
Okay.
would be
Okay.
like only it would be like armory kit stuff, right?
It'd be like and just okay. Okay.
And they
Okay.
said
Cool.
they said they're going to use it as a tool to do reprints as well, which I think is
Oh, so
good.
that really
Yeah.
does say that it could be outside. Okay. Okay. So then it's not direct. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so like this would be where they maybe would have put an EA lightning press. I mean not lightning surge or like a EA Autumn's touch or something like that maybe
Sure.
as like a
Sure.
reprint. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I think overall,
One thing.
yeah, it's sick.
What's that?
I think it's sick overall. Yeah, I have no complaints.
Yeah, I'm changing my tune on it. I was a little bit down just because I think just because I saw the XP system have a huge change.
Mm.
But yeah, I think putting it on the stores to like provide better pricing, because like that's what it comes down to, is like the stores is like the main front of LSS basically. And so if that gets better, then I'm all about it 100%.
I do, dude. Fuck. I do see where you're coming from too. Like
Yeah.
if XP, the XP adjustment, the XP is being taken away. Why was that done? That was done to cater towards casuals, right? And as a
Hmm.
result, I mean, you're saying it. You definitely aren't the only one I've heard say this. Locals have suffered as a result of a catering towards casual players. So how much can you cater towards casual players in a hyper competitive game before you're shooting yourself in the foot, right? It's not a casual game.
It's not at
Yeah.
all. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I don't think we get there with these gym packs. I don't think they're shooting their foot yet. But that's my boomerness that coming out. It's like, where does it keep going till that does happen?
Yeah, I mean the gem packs. I think it's just great overall.
Hmm.
I have zero complaints about it. Even as a competitive player, I'm totally chill with it. But let's be careful catering to the casuals too much because that's just
For
not who
sure.
plays the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is next up we'll have, Flesh and Blood online, and everyone's gonna be stoked about it. But then another shift to the, I'm fucking around.
and then and then SpongeBob SquarePants and
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Potato Head. Yeah.
yeah.
uh,
Oh man, they did say something else. I actually am pretty excited about because I'm curious about it. But how like they're addressing the foiling, and how it curls.
I seen that. Yeah. Dude, that's always been something that like kind of deep down irritated me, but I never wanted to speak on it. The fact
Sure.
that I like to foil out my decks
Yeah.
completely.
Won't have any other way.
I'm a max rarity kind of guy.
Right.
And it always would be in the back of my mind, like, one day I am going to get DQ'd for
Mm,
buying the most expensive versions of the cards that they printed. They printed these cards with the intention of
right.
me playing with them. So I'm
Yeah.
going to put more money into the game and be a better consumer for the product I enjoy
Right.
and buy the thing they want me to buy. And as a result, I'm going to get DQ'd for it at some point.
And
And
people literally did with Eye of Ophidia.
yeah, we've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
We
People are going
literally
left and
watched it.
right and DQ'd on one big tournament. Yeah.
We literally watched it. Uh, so that's always like drove me crazy about games. It's like, okay, if you're not gonna let us play competitively with the foils, then why are you printing them?
Right.
Uh, so I guess it's nice that someone's doing something about it, even though it is probably too late. 5, 10 years down the line, you could already see this. There's gonna be a dispute. This foil looks curled. Was it printed before or after the great refoiling of 2025? You already know it's coming.
Yeah, that's all I was kind of curious. Like, what do you do about Eye of Ophidia, Heart of Fiendel, Arcanite Shard?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
ones that only come in foil. Are you like the question was then, and I guess it still is now. It's like right now you get to do lame ass judge like, cards for it where they just
Yeah.
like sign off like this is an video. It's like cool. I get to like see some dumbass signature in my deck that I spend money on.
Yeah.
Um, but if there's a foiling system, and I'm the type that would rather just play with the card as is than like just have it as a collection. Then like maybe I wouldn't mind, trading out my Eye of Ophidia for a regular Eye of Ophidia, like a new foil Eye of Ophidia, I should say.
Yeah, I don't think it's logistically possible to do like a
It's
mass
not.
trade-in
But could
system.
it get reprinted and be under the guise of like, hey, we're doing this for these gems because this is the
That
only way?
would piss people
It
right
would.
the fuck
It
off,
would.
me included.
Yeah, but then you get to play with them. Then your worries are solved.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Eye of Ophidia is like the big point of contention because that was it was the only played card at that time when Channel Fireball was running these events and DQing everyone for it.
Right.
It was the
Right.
only foil, or it was the only card that didn't come non-foil that was played at the
Like,
time.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't played back then. I meant not I,
You.
sorry, Heart wasn't played back then. I
Oh,
was. Yeah, yeah.
bullshit! I played in my deck at that same tournament.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I played in Oldham.
Oh, consider yourself lucky you didn't get a DQ
I actually went to the
then.
judge and I was like, "Am I gonna get DQ?" Because we saw all the eye
Yeah,
people get
right.
away, so I was like, "Is this okay?"
Yeah.
But yeah, no, eyes have been notorious for the bending. Yeah. So yeah, what was your point with that one there? Just
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember where I was going. So it's like that card only came foil, so if your deck was
mhm,
non-foil and you had that in it, it just looks suspicious. But my
right,
thing is like, what if I max rarity it like you want me to? Like you want me to buy this max
sure,
rarity. And then
yeah.
wait, does this make it worse? Because these new foils aren't gonna curl. And then all the old
That's
foils
what
that
I'm
you made me
saying.
buy are curling.
Right.
So then it's
Yeah.
like now all my stuff is foil and half of it's straight and half of it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a big problem with the foiling.
I have
Curling at
always
my
played.
house.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that helps. I've always played with decks with like foils and non-foils in it, and so far so good, but like it just takes one time, right? I'm not saying like this is the way, but I think as long as it's not just one type of card, right? Like the fact that I would be the only one, yeah, I could see it. But like if you have like a one of foil Red in a Ledger and then like two foil Rain Razors and then like a foil fucking Spire Sniper and then like that was it and the rest is non-foil or some shit, it's like you're probably all right, I'd imagine.
It felt like people were out to get people back then.
It did. It really, really did.
And it just
Yeah.
it just
I think that was more Channel Fireball than anything
I
else.
don't know if it was the judge staff doing it. Are the judges
Yeah,
working at behest of Channel Fireball? Do they take orders from them, or I don't know how it works. Like genuinely, I
I
don't
think
know
in
how it
some
works.
cases it is. I don't know. Okay, definitely. Okay, just for a little context, to our listeners out there, this was the world premiere of Uprising,
3v3
and
event, yeah.
yeah, and this was the team event where you could have three people on your team playing Blitz. And so it was huge. A lot of fucking people played, but because it was Blitz, a lot of people played like Kano. And
Kano
that's
was
why
yeah one of the most popular decks. Yeah.
it's 100% was. And it really did feel, I mean, so like my team made top 8 because as they were checking top 8's decks, one of the guys had an Eye of Phidia and they declared it to be, to bend. This wasn't the only case. This was happening. A lot of teams didn't even make day 2 because of like some like random checks. Like it was so many eyes got targeted. And so it did feel like either Channel Fireball or LSS or just the judge staff there was on a mission to like make a statement that day. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I haven't really seen it since then, so I don't
I
know if there
haven't
was
either.
like a rule change or like a
Right.
policy update for the judges, or if it was just a Channel Fireball issue.
I mean, I
Uh,
think a lot of us got scared straight. I mean, I've always go to a judge to ask for an I have a Fidia like proxy now.
oh, do you?
Yeah, and Brody does that too. Majin Bay does that. Like I
I know
think a
Pete
lot of
does
us
it. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of us got scared straight on that one, I'll be honest. So it might have actually just worked.
Since my deck's always all foil, I never do it. But like here you
Yeah,
go. Sure, when I played Dromai, my deck was all foil, right? But
sure.
only the rainbow foils curl, right? So what about my Marvel Dragons? What about my cold foil Burn them alls? Could someone have
All
called
right.
me and said like, "Oh, this deck is not legal"?
I saw that. I saw that at the at Portland actually. It was a few matches down, and some guy called Judge, and he was like, "Hey, I just noticed that all these cards were foil, and like it doesn't seem like a lot of the other deck is."
Uh-huh.
And I rolled my eyes so fucking hard because I was like, "You're just trying to get a fucking win, like fuck you."
It is
But
dirty, yeah.
it is dirty. However, the judge came, took the guy, talked to him, and then declared it to uh, be the case because they scooped up afterwards. And so he must have been right. So maybe there was like some legitimacy to it. So I take it all back as far as like my eye roll and my feelings towards it because there was good enough proof in it to have the judge involved and the judge to rule in the favor that there was some cheating going on. So but yeah, it's still going on. It seems like it'd be more called out by the players though, and not so much the judges anymore.
But what about like how is that ruled? Is it very black and white? Like you can't play with rainbow foils, basically, is the rule, right? So is it just that black and white? Like if your entire deck isn't rainbow foil, you can't play with rainbow foils, and any breaking of this is considered cheating, and you will be disqualified.
I've been judge called before, or not judge called. I've been deck checked, and like random deck check, and I didn't have it where it's like the foils were different, but I got I wouldn't say long nails, but I got nails right, and one of the sleeves like had like a little indent on it, just from me playing, um, and yeah, that's technically marking a card, absolutely, but it was not any bit consistent. Like it wasn't like, oh, all my Earth cards have this or anything. Like there wasn't like a true pattern to it. So I think, and so they let me go, and they're like, hey, just, and I showed them my fingers. I was like, yeah, I got, it's they let me go, and they're like, just get new sleeves. But that's kind of what I've make the assumption of now when I see those judge calls is that I'm guessing if like in this case for the Portland case where the guy got DQ'd or where he got a game loss. I don't even think he got DQ'd. I think he just got a game loss. Um, I think there had to been a pattern to it where it's like all of one type of card was foil, and that's why.
Yeah, if that's the case, then totally. Yeah, if there is like malicious intent behind it, then yeah. But yeah, I do just wonder how much it's enforced. Like if you just like if someone had called the judge on you in a game with those same sleeves, would you have gotten the same benefit of the doubt if your opponent was
Right.
complaining about it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Like, had it actually been a judge call instead of just a deck check. Yeah, it's a good point. I'm not sure. That's a very good point,
Yeah, and it's less about
dude. Okay,
the sleeves, just
I,
like like they want us to buy rainbow fools. I don't know, it drives me crazy. Anyway, go
no,
ahead.
I get it. I get it. I mean, okay. First off, isn't it wild that it took this long? Because like this isn't a fab thing. Every fucking TCG has
Yep.
terrible. So like, should we have had this like 10 years ago?
Yeah, and it's weird too. I agree with, I don't know if you watched the announcement or whatever, but James White was saying like, I think this is the future. I think other people can, should, and will copy this. I also think they should copy the paper packs, but no one's done that. Isn't that crazy? How has no one copied the paper packs yet?
I don't know that yeah, that was crazy too because like okay, look, I get Everfest had its problems, Everfest wasn't there. There was still some border issues that was happening, like cards are, hitting up and getting white bordered basically from it.
Oh, okay.
Uh yeah, that was happening with Everfest. That was their first time they did paper, and I was like, fuck, they're just gonna get rid of it now. But they kept it going and they've gone better, and now that doesn't even happen. So yeah, that is curious. And honestly, I get why they can't do cold foils because that's like, that is Flesh and Blood's thing.
Other
But
games do cold foils.
well, they do it in a different way.
Lorcana looks exactly the same.
Does it actually? Okay, I don't know about Lorcana.
I'll show you one
I know.
next time I see you. It's
Okay, yeah,
exactly the
I'm
same. Yeah, it's
very, very
crazy.
curious. I know Magic started, but it's like a cold foil, but it's not the same. But anyway, okay, well that's good because I think that's a really cool way to do it. So I think other games should do that. But yeah, like yeah, if this really fixes the problem, I'm with James White. I think all cards
Yeah, they
games should be doing this,
totally should
and the
copy it.
paper packs. I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Oh yeah, I thought about this in my head. I'm curious, like, and if we need to just edit this part out, we can edit it out. Um, but whenever I saw that happen, I of course put myself in that scenario and like, what would I do if like someone called judge on me
Hmm.
for like marked cards? Especially like if you didn't mark cards, it just maybe like in your Dromai case,
Hmm.
some are cold foil, some are, like, and then they got you the game loss. I mean, that's just got to be hard, dude. Like I'm not saying I would like do anything like violent or whatnot, but like, would I be happy at all? No. And would I not ever want to see that guy again? Probably. You know what I mean? If I had no ill intent, if I was not anywhere cheating, it just happened to be where, this happened, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like when it happened to our friend Fonzie, his teammate had the Ivophidia, so their whole team got DQ'd, and then Fonzie sold all his stuff and quit the game, and really hasn't returned since. I'm sure he's not the only one who would have that reaction. And
Yes, devastating.
putting yourself in those shoes is like, it is, yeah, it is terrible. Terrible. Imagine flying across the country to have that happen to you.
Right.
Yeah, like
Right.
someone
Yeah.
who just is really trying to get the win on you, trying any angle they can, and then weaponizing the judge staff against your rainbow foils. That would be so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we both had interactions that are similar of that nature, where like the judge got, involved in it. It felt like used against us.
Yeah.
Um, and whether that's legitimate or not, it doesn't matter. But the whole point of this is like it is a terrible appealing.
Yeah.
Like when no, like if you're cheating and that shit happens, you kind of just have to like be like, well, like it was the game I was playing, right? Like I
Hmm.
got caught, But if you're not cheating and it happens, it's just such a blow.
It is, yeah. And then there's some like gray areas where it's like, well, I think I'm right, you think you're right. Let's get the judge involved, and
That's usually how it
yeah,
happens. You
that's
know what I
like,
mean?
but I mean, not always though. Like you remember at PTLA, my story where I was telling you, like I just had a different life than he had, because
Yeah.
like he
Well, that's how it
attacked.
happened to me too. Yeah.
Yeah, he attacked, and I was like, okay, no blocks, I'll go to one. And then he's like,
Right.
oh, well, I have you dead. Let's just call a judge and sort it out. No problem.
Yep.
Call the judge. Judge comes over. Okay, you took the damage? Yeah. Okay, you're at 0. You're dead. I'm like, can I just reblock? Nope, you're dead. Like, okay.
Brutal, dude.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I don't know, where I was really going at with that. I guess it's just like, I don't know where I was going at with that at all.
It's all good. Yeah. No. Well, you're saying like it's not like so black and white sometimes, but I don't know. Yeah, because that's how it got me too. Is it was a light discrepancy. It was just like I marked one thing, he marked the other thing. Mine wasn't where one would go to lethal or anything, but like it just somehow his yeah. So somehow the ruling went against me, and
You know,
yeah, it's just
I agreed with it because I was just like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. You think that's my life? No problem. That's my life. I'll
right.
just block differently. They're like, oh, that's your life? Yeah. Okay, you're dead.
Insane.
You agree
Yeah.
that's your life? Yeah. Okay, you're dead. That's how it
Yeah.
went. It was tough.
You know what? I will say I'm glad that the judges just made that call right then and there and not had it be on your opponent. I think that's the shittiest thing to do when judges do that shit.
I agree, and I hold no ill will towards my opponent. He just wanted to get
Yeah.
it sorted out, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
And I don't even hold ill will towards the judge. The judge needs to, yeah,
Make,
make a
hmm
ruling. I do wish he would have. I wish like the judges would just let the game play out to its natural conclusion and like
hmm
go a little bit more towards intent, right? So if half your deck's rainbow, half your deck's not. If you have one Eye of Ophidia rainbow in your deck, rest of it isn't. Whatever, whatever. If like they
Right.
could tell you're trying to cheat, then totally, yeah, be harsh with
Yeah.
it. But if
Yeah.
the intent isn't there, right? Like I said, no blocks. It's not like I'm trying to like get one over on this guy.
Right.
I have a
Yeah. Yeah.
different total on my life pad, right? What if I just wasn't
Exactly.
taking life and I just kept asking him every turn, like, what's life? What's life? What's life? Then
Right.
then I would have had a better tournament result, I guess. But like, I
I
guess it should
guess.
just be more intent focused.
Yeah, no, I feel that. It feels better when it's that way, when like the game goes the way, yeah, like you said, like to its natural conclusion, which is better. Like I think that's what most bad players want is like no, I there's less cheating in this game than other TCGs.
Hmm.
Not saying it doesn't exist, but there's less of it, and then there is more of like there's not I wouldn't say more takes backseats or anything of that nature, but there's more leniency in this game than I've noticed like in other games that I've played, and I really think that's because this game is super competitive, and it by being as competitive as it is, ironically, it's like less rule sharky because like you do want to win in a way that makes it feel like you won the game. And that's not true like just gotcha or anything of that nature, but like you earned it
You want to earn
basically.
it. Yep, I agree 100%. I remember
Yeah.
I think it was Maxwell Klein was in top 8 of the Pro Tour that Michael Fung won on Oldham. Baltimore was
Okay.
it? And
Yeah, he won in Baltimore. Yeah.
yeah, he said his opponent was like super nervous and like messing things up and activating things. Like he activated Voltaire even though he couldn't load because his arsenal was face down and not face up, so he didn't
Mm,
have an extra slot, something like this. And
right.
he said his opponent was just nervous, so he let him take it back because he wanted to earn it. And I just like
Yeah.
respect that mentality so much. Like even in a top 8 Pro Tour game, you still
Right.
want to earn it. And that's why he got top 2 at the next Pro Tour, right? Because he had that competitive mentality. And I think
Yeah,
most
like
people in the game do have that, yeah.
I totally agree. Like I think it like it goes to show like that mentality gets you further than like gotcha mentality, you know? Like gotcha
Mhm.
mentality gets you so far and then that's it.
Right. And yeah, I mean, we're talking about that, but I don't think, again, I don't think that was the case with, I don't think I've ever had that happen to me where someone's just like blatantly trying to shark me to that extent.
Not in this game.
Yeah,
And
not in
and,
this
and
game.
Magic
Yeah.
has happened for me. Yeah,
Totally.
absolutely.
Same. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah. But yeah, Flesh Blood is different. Yeah, it's a great game. It's great.
All right. All this yap, all this tangents and stuff, I just want to bring it full circle and say, I guess I wanted to outline a more black and white policy with the Rainbow Fools at competitive events, and I'm
That's fair.
also very excited for the new non-taco Rainbow Foils.
Same, same. Yep, yep.
That's all I got on it.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got until we get some new spoilers and some chaos revealed to us.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely be back to talk about chaos later, gamers.
Keep on fabbing.